McDonald's is continuing to be very proactive with its new menu items, including a great new addition to the breakfast menu, the Egg White McMuffin. Make your morning with 100% freshly grilled egg whites, extra lean Canadian bacon, and smooth white cheddar stacked on a toasted English muffin made with 8 grams of whole grain. Great taste for only 250 calories. Or a refreshing anytime drink, the McCafe Blueberry Pomegranate Smoothie, made with a combination of blueberries and raspberries and a splash of pomegranate juice, blended with ice and creamy low-fat yogurt. Only 220 calories. Always making the menu better. McDonald's in Stillwater, Perkins, and Perry. I'm loving it.
Want whiter teeth in 5 minutes? Then you want Power Swabs. Coffee, tea, or smoking stains start to fade in just 5 minutes. Power Swabs lift stains off your teeth for true whitening. They're clinically proven to whiten your teeth on average 2 shades in 5 minutes. After 7 days, your teeth will be an average 6 shades whiter. Power Swabs even work on caps, crowns, veneers, and bonding, so all your teeth will be movie star white. Order now to try Power Swabs risk-free. Satisfaction is guaranteed, but you won't find this offer in any store, so order now. Try Power Swabs risk-free now.
If you want to get lean and ripped,
I feel unbelievable.
Sexy and toned,
this is the greatest gift you can give yourself.
Then get ready to order the #1 extreme fitness program in America, P90X. Fitness legend Tony Horton will have you shredding fat, sculpting your core, and defining your entire body by constantly introducing new moves so your body is always challenged.
And with challenge comes change.
Over 4 million people have experienced the body-changing power of P90X and paid over $120. But call now and Tony will send you the complete 12-DVD P90X system to try risk-free for 30 days for only $14.95. Order now and even the shipping and handling is free. Act right now and also get Tony's Ad Ripper X system free. If you're not 100% satisfied, simply return P90X for a full refund. Don't wait. Get P90X right now for only $14.95.
Call 1-800-905-1720. Call now.
I love the feel of old pickup trucks and old cowboy boots. They're just comfortable. At Tiger Drug, we've been honored to serve you for nearly 100 years. We appreciate your business and hope that it's been comfortable for you to do business with us. As the 4th oldest business in Stillwater, we're committed to work as hard as ever to keep your trust and friendship. I'm Calvin Anthony, and I just want to say thank you for choosing Tiger Drug.
Well, good morning. Welcome to the Morning Edition. I'm here with Stillwater Mayor John Bartley. Welcome.
Morning, Mr. Clark. How are you?
Fellow spotter.
I tell you what, that's a fun job.
It is. The mayor and I spot for Chris Batchelder at high school football games. Chris is the PA announcer, and we have a good time together.
We do. We have our own jobs, our own roles. I get to go through the binoculars that Kevin provides, very good binoculars, to find out who makes the play, who makes the tackle, those kind of things, and relay that to the PA guy, and then Kevin.
I take care of yards and downs.
That's right. So all the information that we give to the PA guy, and he repeats it accurately about, 95% 95% of the time.
So we make him sound brilliant most of the time. Anyway, so I'm glad you're here this morning. I have just a couple of news things that I picked up. First, early voting, because we have an election coming up I'm sure you're anxious to talk about. Early voting starts tomorrow. Thursday and Friday at the Payne County Election Board on the corner of 6th and Duck. There will not be early voting on Monday, and this is new. The law changed, and this is the first election where that has changed. There is not early voting on Monday, presumably to allow the election board a little easier time of getting ready for the Tuesday elections. So early voting tomorrow and Friday. Also, we have a new general manager and editor at the News Press. Yep. A man named Dale I don't know if it's Brindle or Brindell. He comes to us from Leavenworth, Kansas, where he was the general manager of the Leavenworth Times. He's a University of Missouri graduate. He's also been the editor of the Independence Missouri Examiner and the managing editor of the McAllister News Capital. So welcome, Dale, to Stillwater.
Yep. Welcome. Is that McAllister, Oklahoma?
I presumed.
Okay.
I presumed. It just said McAllister in the paper. So that's in this morning's News Press. So welcome to town, and we'll look forward to meeting you. And so what do you have going on? Nothing much going on in your life,
I'd say
right?
nothing much going on. You know, we're just running the city and enjoying it. So no, we have just less than a week until the November 12th elections. Again, 11, 12, 13. You know, you couldn't have planned that for a more fun election day if you tried. So anyway, that's next Tuesday. Like you said, we got early voting, and again, that was a state law change. That wasn't a local, our county make a decision thing. That's a statewide change that went into effect on November 1st. So that's, you know, that may change a couple people's procedures on how they do things. So, but that's what it is.
It is what it is. So,
but looking forward to that election next Tuesday. I tell you what, there have been a lot of people out and about trying to make sure people are informed. And that really is the ultimate key. I'll tell you what, I got an email from a citizen earlier this week that was asking me specific questions about a couple of the bonds, a couple of the propositions, and it was, I have heard X.
Right.
And the way they worded the email to me was, that just didn't sound right. Can you tell me what it is? And so I responded and telling them what the real facts were. And they responded back to me by saying, you know, appreciated me responding and saying, everyone is entitled to their own opinion, but they're not entitled to their own facts.
There you go.
And I loved that because it's so spot on. The key is to learn what the facts are. Form your own opinion. Make your own conclusion. But make sure you're operating on the right facts.
That's right.
There have been so many experienced and intelligent people that have worked on this for so long, putting it together, both people here in Stillwater and then the bond and those type of experts, that this is what they do every day all across the state, is help communities, school districts put together packages in smart, intelligent, financial ways to put this together. So the number one thing I'd probably say to people is, if you hear something that just sounds ludicrous, if you hear something that just sounds crazy, take that with a grain of salt. Don't ignore it, but take it with a grain of salt and then go either confirm it or get the correct version of it.
Okay.
And then make your decision and then go vote.
All right. Well, let's take a look at the weather, because I want to give you maximum time with our guest.
Wonderful.
So the weather today is brought to us by McDonald's. There's a view of First Baptist Church in the background. And it's currently 41 degrees and cloudy. The winds out of the north-northwest at 11 miles per hour. Humidity is relatively high at 85%. Pressure is 30.18 inches of mercury, and the visibility is 10 miles, and you can see forever. It's going to be sunny today with a high of 56 degrees. The low overnight will be 33 degrees. The winds will be out of the north-northwest at 15 to 25 miles per hour, so it's going to pick up a little bit. And there's a 20% chance of precipitation today, so we'll see if and when that comes. And
does that look like 10 miles of visibility to you? You're the visibility guy, is my understanding.
I am the visibility guy, and it looks a little cloudy right now, but I think it's measured like high up for pilots or something. So
got it.
Anyway, so tell us about our guest.
Our guest is Police Chief Ryan McCarron. You've been on before, I believe. And so Ryan was promoted police chief when Chief McNichol was promoted to Director of Public Safety. So that's been 3-ish years, about 2.5 years that Chief McCarron has been operating as police chief. And so we're going to be able to talk with him and get some solid information, specifically on part of that Proposition 2, dealing with the police cars and what this really means for not only the police, but some questions that have been asked about that proposition.
Sure.
So,
okay, very good. So we'll come back after that, after this word from McDonald's.
McDonald's is continuing to be very proactive with its new menu items, including a great new addition to the breakfast menu, the Egg White McMuffin. Make your morning with 100% freshly grilled egg whites, extra lean Canadian bacon, and smooth white cheddar stacked on a toasted English muffin made with 8 grams of whole grain. Great taste for only 250 calories. Or a refreshing anytime drink, the McCafe Blueberry Pomegranate Smoothie, made with a combination of blueberries and raspberries and a splash of pomegranate juice, blended with ice and creamy low-fat yogurt. Only 220 calories. Always making the menu better. McDonald's in Stillwater, Perkins, and Perry. I'm loving it. Are you a sports fan looking for exclusive information on the Pioneers, the Cowboys? Well, you need to check out TV31 each weekday from 1 to 3 on TV31 and simulcast on Team Radio's Triple Play of networks. Each week, I'm joined by the names most associated with athletics, such as Tom Dorado on Mondays, Steve Daniels on Tuesdays, Coach Bill Andon on Wednesdays, and Larry Reese on Thursdays. Different personalities each day, but the same commitment to having fun and entertaining sports talk. TV31 Catch it weekdays 1 to 3 on TV31 and simulcast on Team Radio.
It's time to get your space back. Your garage, your shop, your attic. The question is always, what am I going to do with all the stuff I want out of the way? The answer is A&D Storage. A&D has small units, large units, environmentally controlled units, even outdoor units. So whether you're storing a boat or trailer in the outdoor units, a high-dollar painting in the environmentally controlled units, or anything else, they have every option you're going to need. So call A&D Storage at 533-7867 or go to andstorage.net for all the information you need to take care of your storage needs.
It's easy doing business the Wilson way. Wilson Chevrolet, Stillwater.
Chevrolet, a 5-time winner. Chevy puts safety first, and it has the 5-star scores to prove it. 7 of Chevy's 2014 models received the highest possible score for safety. That's more than Ford and Toyota combined. But that's not all. The Cruze, Volt, and Sonic were listed on Forbes' list of 10 safest small cars, and Consumer Reports call the all-new 2014 Impala the best new sedan. What this means is today's Chevrolet is giving our customer the quality they deserve. For the last 27 years, we at Wilson's have built our tradition on customer satisfaction. We are honored to serve you, our guests, with the best products on the market. Back that by the largest service team in the area, and we think you'll enjoy our way of doing business. Visit us online at wilsonchevyok.com. Find new roads.
Wilson Chevrolet, still.
Good morning and welcome back to the morning edition. I'm John Bartley and I'm here with Stillwater Police Chief Ryan McCarron. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Wonderful. I appreciate you getting up early. I understand it was a late night.
It was a long night.
I'm sorry to hear that.
That's all right. Everything worked out well.
Oh, good. More importantly, I'm glad to hear that. So, okay. You've been with us before, and
yes,
tell you what, one thing that I want to throw out there is I've been so impressed and proud with how well you and Chief Bradley and Dr. Peak and John McClenny, how well you guys have done with all these questions that have been coming at you on these bond proposals, because this isn't what you do on a daily basis.
No, I'm more of an operational manager, but what we want to do is we want to inform the citizens, let them make that decision.
Yeah, and that it's much appreciated. So on that, we've got our Stillwater, we've got 3 propositions on the ballot next Tuesday.
Correct.
And it's Proposition 2, the public safety package, that really impacts your department.
Correct.
And why don't you tell us, if you give us a quick explanation of how it impacts your department and how the police are affected by this proposition.
What we're trying to do is we want to increase the size of the fleet so that you have the ratio of 1 officer per vehicle. And there's a number of benefits to that. This is a trend in law enforcement because it's actually a money-saving opportunity. You have higher police visibility. That's a crime deterrent. You have a increased ability to respond to en masse to critical incidents.
Right. Now, there have been several questions. I know I've been hit with several questions by people, and I know you have too, about this. So let's run through a couple of those, and I'd like to get your responses to them. The first is, why do we need a unit per officer?
Well, like I said, what you have is, as the officer goes to and from work assignments, there's increased visibility. You're going to see more marked units out there driving around. They may be going to court, training, to and from work, and they can respond to serious crimes that are in progress. And that's a crime deterrent. If people see police out there, they're going to behave more.
I tell you what, several years ago when I went on a police ride-along in connection with Leadership Stillwater, I got to experience the loading and unloading of the police cars. And I didn't understand it then, and I still don't. I mean, I understand why it has to happen, But the fact that an officer has, I mean, that's his office for 10 hours a day. And if you had to load all your equipment for your office to start your day and then unload it all at the end of the day, all that wasted time.
It's about 15 or 20 minutes. As technology in law enforcement changes, we carry a lot more equipment than we used to. No longer do you hire on, they give you a pistol and a baton, you go to work. You got gas mask, a duty bag, equipment bag.
The computers.
The computers, yeah. The different weapons we carry now. So that's a 15, 20-minute process at least, but at the beginning and end of every shift. So there's a half hour to 40 minutes every day that they're not spending on patrol. And so when he ends his shift, he or she ends his shift, then the oncoming officer has to do the exact same thing.
Restock the office.
Yes.
I understand. One of the other questions I've received has been, why the Chevy Tahoe as the unit that we're going to be buying? Why is that the vehicle we're going with?
There's a common misperception out there about the SUVs that we're driving. You see a lot of law enforcement going to larger trucks and SUVs. We carry more equipment. We're out of room. The sedans don't have enough room to, like you say, you've got the computer sitting here, which takes up part of your passenger compartment. You have a partition that divides the front and back of the vehicle. That takes up room. So the Tahoe, a lot of people say, well, we're going to gas guzzlers. We're actually not. We're saving mileage. They get 3 to 4 miles a gallon more than the sedans we're currently driving.
So the SUV that you're going to gets better gas mileage than our current cars.
Correct. Additionally, they're on a truck chassis, and
Okay.
one of the goals of this is to try to make these vehicles last longer, so we're not having to replace them as often. We're saving money. A truck chassis lasts longer than a sedan chassis.
And that makes sense. And these are two-wheel drive Tahoes. Two-wheel drive Tahoes. One of the other questions I get is, have we thought about CNG?
We have. We actually looked at it earlier this year and several years ago. There is not currently a platform and something that we can utilize that will give us the distance that CNG will do.
So the technology is just not there yet for police work.
But when it becomes available, we'll definitely take a look at it.
Okay, got it. On that, why the Tahoe? I mean, what could you as an officer just go down to the car lot and pick whatever vehicle you want?
No. These are actually police package vehicles.
Okay.
They have a sturdier suspension, they have a sturdier transmission, so they're actually a police packaged vehicle.
Would it be fair to say that your options are limited on what type of vehicles, and in your opinion, is the Tahoe the best type of vehicle for our officers?
For the money, yes, without a doubt.
Okay, that sounds great. Tell you what, we got to go to commercial, but when we come back, I want to talk the money side of this proposition. Okay, we're going to run to a commercial, but we'll be back in a minute.
Inside this building is advanced life-saving cardiac technology and a team of highly trained, caring cardiologists. Inside this building is unmatched cardiovascular prevention, screening, and intervention. Inside this building is compassion and hope. And this building is right here in Stillwater, the new Heart Center at Stillwater Medical Center. Advanced care close to home.
Hello again, everybody. Scott Casper here from Takedown Wrestling. Find your wrestling news each and every week on KWEM TV31 and Suddenlink Cable Channel 3.
This is a tree that was never chopped down to make a crutch that was never needed by a child who never got polio because a vaccine was never in short supply. Thanks to people whose compassion wasn't either. You can help Rotary end polio now. Learn how you can help at rotary.org/endpolio. Rotary, humanity in motion.
Good morning and welcome back to the Morning Edition. I'm John Bartley here with Police Chief Ryan McCarron. We've been talking about the portion of Proposition 2 that will be on the ballot next Tuesday, November 12th, and that's the one dealing with the police fleet. In our last segment, we talked about why the Tahoe and why we need to go to one unit per officer and the money savings in that. Now I want to kind of talk about the upfront money a little bit on this idea. Ballpark, what will one of these new Tahoes cost for us to go purchase?
To go purchase and equip, it's going to run about $35,000 a unit.
Okay.
Depending on how much of the equipment then we can recycle from other units.
Okay, and that's a question I've got, like the light bar and the radio and those kind of things. Explain that a little bit.
What we've done is you see some of the Tahoes out here that have a light bar on top and some that don't. We've gone to a lower profile. We've put the lights inside and on the sides of the vehicle, and that's saving us a couple $100 a unit by not having to buy those more expensive light bars.
Got it.
You notice that there's a lower grade graphic on there. I shouldn't say grade, but they're toned down. They don't have all the fancy decals on there. That saves us several $100. It's a very simple design,
right,
and it accomplishes the function. Additionally, we've gone from a black and white vehicle to a solid colored vehicle. You're saving a few $100 there. So
just simple little things, it sounds like, that you guys have done to keep the price down, but not impair the job function.
Correct.
Is that fair?
They have to be marked because they do have a traffic function, and that's a state law. But it doesn't say how fancy your graphics have to be. I think the graphics look good, but they're kind of retro and they're toned down and they're a lot cheaper.
You know, I had noticed it, but I hadn't really crystallized that thought on those graphics. And I hadn't thought about it that way. That makes a lot of sense. Each year in the budget, our operational budget, meaning out of all the revenue the city gets, and in our budget each year we allocate a certain amount to the police department. And what each year happens currently is we replace about 5 police cars each year.
About 5 to 8, depending on
what's worn out
right.
and what's not. And so that's how we recycle, or that's how we change the fleet over currently, is out of the operational budget.
Correct.
This proposition would, the other question I've gotten is, so you're going to go buy 50 police cars next year? No. Explain how we're going to be purchasing these cars.
The current fleet's approximately 25 marked police units, and what we want to do is we want to increase that to approximately 50. And so the vehicles that are currently in the fleet will need to be replaced over the next 5 years. And then during that 5 years, we're going to try to add a few of the 25 additional that we're asking for to the fleet and increase the fleet size. So to say that we're just going to go out and buy 50 or we're going to go out and buy 25, we can't equip that many. We can't equip 25 additional vehicles. So we would add to the fleet every year for the next 5 years. And the proposition money, the bond money in the proposition would prevent us from having to have capital outlay during this process for vehicles.
And so what it does is it's doubling it, but I understand that going to the officer per unit, so it only, the unit, is only going one shift a day. One of the primary benefits is that car's life now goes from 4.5 to 5 years to 8 to 10 years.
8 to 12, yes.
8 to 12 years. So we don't have to replace it as often.
Correct, and you don't have that capital outlay.
So as we're replacing these cars that are going every 5 years now all of a sudden it becomes 8 to 10. So we're not going to be turning around and having to replace 10 cars here in 5 years or 20 cars here in 6 years. It's going to be back to our 5 a year, 3 to 4 to 5 a year as these go down the road. Not every 5 years, but every 8, 10 to 12 years.
Every 8, 12 years, depending on their actual function and how they're utilized. So if now we get 4 years out of a vehicle, if we get 8, we've broken even. If we get 10, that's 2 years that we haven't had to purchase an additional vehicle. Obviously, if it's 12, there's four years additionally you didn't have to purchase.
And from a city council perspective, what makes so much sense about this is that this bond money comes in, we double the size of the fleet, but it keeps us operational budget-wise at the same amount, if not less, and it's the continual turnover of the fleet, but you're stretching out the intervals.
Correct.
So I from that standpoint, I love it. I think that makes a whole lot of sense. Okay. There's also a communication part of this proposition. How does that impact the police department?
There's a wireless mesh that information technology has been implementing over the city, and what that does is there's computers in the police vehicles, the fire vehicles, emergency management, and that allows the vehicle and the GPS to communicate with central dispatch. Okay. There's dead spots. We need to correct those dead spots because as the vehicles are driving around and they go outside that wireless mesh, they go offline, so they're no longer getting the information from dispatch.
Is it an easy way to explain that? You know, it's too simple, but me and my cell phone, and I hit a dead spot.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then you have to reconnect.
Got it. And when your officers are trying to get information or share information, that's a whole lot bigger a problem than my phone call with my wife dropping off. So I understand.
Like I said, it impacts fire and emergency management as well.
Got it. Got it. Okay, well, how's everything else with the police department? Things going well?
Going well, I think.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm glad to hear it. Well, I appreciate you coming this morning.
You bet.
And once again, if you've got questions specific on the police propositions on this, you can definitely send an email to Chief McCarron, or you can send it to me, and we will get the information back out to you. So anyway, thank you for being here.
Thanks, sir.
All right, we're going to go to commercial, and when we come back, Kevin and I are going to have something fun to talk about.
Are you a sports fan looking for exclusive information on the Pioneers, the Cowboys? Well, you need to check out TV31 each weekday from 1 to 3 on TV31 and simulcast on Team Radio's Triple Play of networks. Each week, I'm joined by the names most associated with athletics, such as Tom Dorado on Mondays, Steve Daniels on Tuesdays, Coach Bill Landon on Wednesdays, and Larry Reese on Thursdays. Different personalities each day, but the same commitment to having fun and entertaining sports talk. TV31 Catch it weekdays 1 to 3 on TV31 and simulcast on Team Radio.
Do you have odors and dampness in your basement and crawl space? An unhealthy home begins with problems in damp, poorly ventilated areas. The conditions down below nurture molds, dust mites, and result in a buildup of gases and pollutants that can cause serious illnesses, like asthma, emphysema, and some cancers. The pollutants work their way up to your living quarters, infecting your entire home. Wave ventilation for moisture control and air quality can solve this problem. The unit's unique technology is designed to replace the damp, stale, polluted air with dry, fresh air and maintain a healthy, comfortable environment all year round. Unlike dehumidifiers, there's no buckets of water or filters, and it costs about $3 a month in electricity. Protect your home and family. Get to the source of the problem with Wave Ventilation. Call now. Make Wave Ventilation your answer to healthy living. Satisfaction guaranteed.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
Spinach, carrots, greens. That's what I said, carrots. And those keep you healthy and strong. And spinach. I said spinach. I said Spanish. Spanish. Uh-huh. No, that's not. Spanish is como estas. That's nothing you eat. Kuna matata. That's not Spanish. We're doing business here.
Be sure to join TV31 for our local programming. Here's what you'll find tonight on TV31.
All right, well, welcome back. The chief is always interesting. He's really settled well into that job.
He has done a great job, and it's kind of one of those. Chief McNichol, who'd been police chief for forever. It's, you know, taking over for someone like that is tough, but Chief McCarron's got a great personality, a great demeanor, well respected by the officers, respected in the community, and he balances that administrative world and operational world really well. I've been very impressed with him.
So anyway, so great job. We're going to take a look at the weather because we're running out of time. Weather Day is brought to us by McDonald's.
There's always something new at McDonald's, and what's new right now is the new Mighty Wings, spicy and savory, as well as tender and juicy home-style chicken wings. And McDonald's is introducing new